This morning, a major decision at Walmart, not about holiday sales, but about diversity programs, also known as DEI programs.
This morning, the world's largest retailer says it's rolling back some of its diversity, equity, and inclusion policies. Walmart, which employs more than 1.5 million Americans, joins a list of major corporations revising DEI initiatives.
They used to have this word race, class, and gender. That was their gender. Have you noticed they got rid of the class? And they got rid of the class because America was too upwardly mobile or fluid. You and I could be in a particular class, but we could either not be in that class or our children are not given the birthright. So they never had a permanent European peasantry. They started to gravitate with open borders and the traditional black-white dichotomy, but especially now with Hispanic, and they said, we have a new victim. And the DEI woke, whatever you want to call it, says anybody who is not so-called white fits into the cultural Marxist paradigm. Victim, victimizer, oppressed, oppressor. And that was very successful because it flew in the face of all traditional criteria of oppression. So all of a sudden, Professor Kendi is a victim. Oprah is a victim. Oprah says she went into a Swiss store and somebody didn't give her a lizard purse and she's suddenly a victim. LeBron James is a victim. Michelle Obama was at a Target and she lifted up, tried to get a package that somebody requested. She's a victim. And so what they did was they bifurcated the United States into 67% or whatever they call of oppressors and the rest 33% of oppressed. And then they made this colonialist or anti-colonialist argument. And you have what you have because of your race and privilege and oppression. It's anti-empirical. And you say to them, okay, there's a guy in Bakersfield, he's never gone to high school, his son's on a forklift, they have no privilege at all, you tell me, well, he's white. He's white. And so that was a really pernicious, and that came in really with Barack Obama. There was a word was not in white currency, diversity. And suddenly he took that word, and that was diversity. All of a sudden I thought, I was teaching, and I would go, and I heard there were people that I had known my entire lives in my community and at Cal State or Stanford, and they were from India, and they were Sikhs, and they came with enormous amounts of money. I knew people from Korea that came, and all of a sudden they were telling me they were victims. Yeah. I didn't know, Victor, that this place was so racist. I said, well, can you show me what happened? You own 5,000 acres. You're a multimillionaire. Well, I don't, but my daughter came home and told, and that's where we are now. We're cultural Marxism that's bifurcated. There's no middle class, we say, and everybody is trying to find a gimmick or a lever. So when you reward that, then everybody comes out of the woodwork, whether it's Elizabeth Warren trying to create an identity of a victim, or I just saw the other day Buffy St. Marie, a folk singer that I always thought was Native American. We find out she wasn't, she's Italian. And it's this fixation in our society on race, and it permeates everything.
Twitter are talking about DEI. Elon Musk talked about it. Oklahoma governor signs order effectively banning diversity programs as public colleges, okay?
Finally, somebody's stepping up.
Yes, let me read the story.
I got the biggest applause from the crowd.
Let's go.
Interesting. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt signed an executive order effectively banning diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI programs at public colleges and agencies, prohibiting them from state funds or resources for DEI initiatives, and ordering the dismissal of non-critical personnel. This order is effective immediately with compliance expected by May 31st of 2024. Charlie, what do you think about the story?
I think it's amazing. I think every red state governor should follow suit. Anybody in power should get rid of DEI immediately. DEI is a Marxist program that's infiltrated. It is anti-white, institutionalized, and Elon Musk is now one of the most anti-DEI spokespeople of the West, and praise God for Elon of doing it. He says DEI should be rearranged to DIE. because it is saying it is dying. Look, Elon Musk calls diversity, equity, inclusion morally wrong. Propaganda words for racism, sexism. Changing the target class doesn't make it right. Good for you, Elon Musk. We need more people with wealth and with power and a platform to speak out against DEI. So I love that Governor Stitt is doing this. It shouldn't have taken this long. They call you a racist. Ignore them when they say that. Get rid of the DEI office. Go back to meritocracy. DEI is at odds with the promise of the American Constitution. It's at odds. You cannot have a meritocracy and have DEI. So choose. Choose which way, America. Do you want a segregated society? Do you want Christmas parties like in Boston where white people are not allowed? That is DEI. Do you want black-only dormitories? That is DEI. Do you want bonuses based on skin color? That is DEI. Or do you want work ethic and merit to be rewarded? That is what built this country. We have to get back to it. So right now, we have to go on a non-stop deletion campaign and get rid of every single DEI office in America immediately.
Charlie, can I ask you a follow-up on that? Great point. So, you know, they say there's a difference between perception and reality. For the people that aren't really following what's going on with DEI or ESG, everything that's sort of, you know, in our world, for the average person, when they hear diversity, it's like, all right, cool, diverse, it's great.
Yeah.
Equity, yeah, we all want a piece of equity. Oh, it's great.
That's a different
Inclusion.
You know? Exactly. Inclusion, let's be included.
I want to be included.
So on the surface, like, you know, if you're a liberal college girl, like whatever, like most people aren't paying attention to policies. They're paying attention to personality and just basically optics. Where did people like give people the reality of what this is? Meaning the average person out there thinks it's great. Charlie, how racist of you to basically say DEI is bad.
Yeah.
What would you say to those people?
Well, I mean, first of all, understand what DEI actually is. It's Marxism by another name. It is race Marxism. It is trying to destroy what exists, strip it down, and put in a completely different type of society. It is race it's race preference. And so you have to ask somebody, do you think your skin color matters to your worth? It's one of the most important, simple, honest questions in America today. If yes, you're a bigot. I have no time for you. You should be like, no, actually your skin color doesn't matter that much. Of course there's racial differences. They don't matter actually really at all. They don't matter about your character or your soul or your agency. Like, and by the way, how shallow. I mean, people are much deeper than how they look, like a lot deeper. And just to kind of put people back into sectarian tribes is regression. So what DEI does, it is re-tribalizing society into a new India-style caste system where you can never escape. No matter how much good you do, no matter how much you study, no matter how early you work, no matter how much you try to improve your life, you're trapped. You're in an open-air prison. DEI creates America into an open-air prison that if you're white, you can never escape it. You have to constantly apologize. You have to constantly go on a knee. And it's like, by the way, if you want to live in that type of country, go to South Africa. Literally, that whole country is built on DEI and CRT. It's an entire country that is based on racial separation and revenge against whites. They have political rallies where they say, kill the Boer. Kill the Boer. The whole country is built on racial resentment. What the revival that will come to this country, and PBD, you're doing a great job helping lead, and what we're doing here at America Fest and Turning Point USA, the revival will go back to a preference on meritocracy. Character, not skin color. Agency, not tribe. That has always been what has made America different and exceptional.
Well said, Charlie. How much similarity, like when you hear BLM, Black Lives Matter, on the surface, it's like, yeah, of course they matter. But the reality was a Marxist organization that was basically trying to tear down the nuclear family.
Of course it is.
Is that basically the parallel to DEI?
And again, don't take my word for it. Look at Elon Musk. DEI must die. The point was to end discrimination, not replace it with a different discrimination. That's the world's wealthiest man. He's saying it because it's true. It's not like he has to go make more money or he's going to win favor or friends. And look, they took advantage of the best intentions of the American people. To your point, inclusion. Who wants to be non-inclusive?
Of course.
Yeah,
right? Or diversity. Now, they never actually mean diversity because they want everyone to look different but think the same. They don't mean it. They don't believe in intellectual diversity or viewpoint diversity or religious diversity. They want just skin color diversity.
Bingo.
And they want ideological totalitarianism. That's the most important thing. So, look, DEI is against. DEI is a virus, and I'll say this, and people hate when I say it, but it's true. DEI is a much more dangerous virus to America than COVID ever was. And DEI is now lasting much longer than COVID. And the top priority of this conference and our podcast and all of us together is to unite our forces. If you're a libertarian, conservative, Democrat, I don't care. We must unite and kick the DEI virus out of America as quickly as possible.
And it took a South African made American, Elon Musk, to understand how it works there to basically call this out.
Tom.
No, amen to that. And you were asking Adam, where do people see it? Well, people are seeing it when teachers, public school teachers, have to take a vow. And it's a vow, or they have to sign a document that adjusts their behavior at school. So people are seeing it come out saying, wait a minute, why do I have to do this? I'm a 25-year teacher. Why do I have to take this vow against this and this and that? It's showing up everywhere. Critical race theory, one of the first tenets is that the instant you're born, if you're born white or Asian, you, critical race theory, are inherently racist. And you haven't lived a moment of your life and had a rational thought. You just arrived here. Welcome to Earth, enjoy your stay. And so when you take a look at these tenets, they're absolutely ludicrous. And you can boil it down like this. Your dad goes into an emergency room. I don't care what color the doctor is. How many bypasses has he done, and can he save my dad's life? That's the only thing I care about. That's a meritocracy. And that's where it needs to go. And Charlie, God bless you for everything that Turning Point is trying to do to raise the awareness and be such a loud voice.
Thank you.
Exactly what Elon Musk says. Let's not take one discrimination, which is bad, and just replace it with another discrimination, which is far worse.
Yeah, I love that. It's amazing. The idea of somebody feeling sorry for you should be an unattractive idea.
Pity.
Like, you shouldn't like pity. Again, this goes back to this book that was written many years ago. Rob, if you can pull up the chart, Power versus Force, just go to Power versus Force chart. This is something everybody ought to look at. You ought to go through this. Click on the one with the one to the right of it. Go to one right there. Click on that one. Zoom in. Just zoom in. Don't do anything but click and just zoom in a little bit. There you go. And go left. Look at this. From the lowest level of consciousness to the highest one. Zoom out a little bit. The lowest level where you don't perform in a good place is shame, then guilt, then apathy, then grief, then fear, then desire, then anger, then pride. The first level where you finally have power is when you have courage. Then neutrality, which you're able to entertain opposing ideas. Then you're willing to have the discussion. Then you're accepting the differences. You're able to reason with other people. You love, joy, peace, and if you make it to enlightenment, if you can constantly be aware of this, to not fall for the shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, desire, anger, and pride, and have the courage to change, future looks bright. And it looks like you guys are doing that with Turning Point USA.
So